Sharing this because I loathe that some mom watched my video with my first and had my second baby. I'm still shocked about how each kid is different. I weaned my first, it went pretty well, and I was like, we'll just do the same thing. Not the case. So I'm sorry if you were that mom. Just wanted to make this one for some solidarity. And I never do this. I don't like asking for advice on the platform because it's information overload. But I'm asking, when you weaned your child, how old were they? Because I feel like that makes a big difference. Was there anything that really, really worked? I need to know. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy. We do things kind of natural, kind of eco-friendly, kind of hippie, kind of granola. If you're into that, please subscribe. I have an Instagram, HEYSHAYLA. I have a podcast, HEYSHAYLA. Today, we're going to talk about weaning my second. You're supposed to create content, basically write or tell stories or whatever from scars, not open wounds. Meaning, you should not give advice or tell people things while you're in the thick of it. You should do that once you're finished with that. Well, I'm not doing that. And I'm not giving any advice either. I'm just saying, holy crap, because I have a 1.5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. I've never had any I want to make it to 3 months, or I want to make it to 4 years, or I want to nurse for this amount of time. I was just like, we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. With my first, I got pregnant when she was about 13, 14 months. We fully weaned at 18 months, and I just kind of gave myself that 4 or 5 months to just do it super slow and chill, and it wasn't that big of a deal, except for that I couldn't, I started to have nursing aversions because I was pregnant. And so I have friends who are like, oh, I tandem nurse, blah, blah, and I was like, how did you get through nursing while you were pregnant? So we just fully weaned. And so now we're about at 1.5 years with my second, and I'm just feeling like it's time. When my first would nurse, it felt like she had a sandpaper tongue. She's just nursing, and I was like, we need to stop this. I can't go on any longer. So now we're with my second. She's about 1.5 years, and I'm just feeling like it's about time to wrap it up. We night weaned, so we got that under wraps, so I can nurse her to sleep, and she sleeps pretty good now. With my first, and even with my second, it kind of went up and down. She would wake up and then she'd go back to sleep. Night weaning her was so much harder than my first. My first, it took 3 nights. Done. And I was like, well, that was not as hard as I thought. With my second, it took a lot longer. In fact, we tried and then we kind of stopped, and then we hard tried again, and now she's fully night weaned. So she nurses to sleep and then she nurses again in the morning. I tried to keep it at a hard 6 o'clock, then it moved to 5:30. Then it moved to 5. Now it's moving to 4:30. And I'm like, do I keep a hard stop? Because in the morning, if I don't nurse her at that time, she will be really upset for 30 minutes. And eventually I will nurse her. But if I just nurse her, she'd go back to sleep for another couple hours. So I'm like, are we gonna push it back to 3 and then we're gonna have a couple nurses? I don't know. I'm a big do what works until it doesn't. And this morning it was 4:30 and I was like, we're not nursing till 5. So she cried. Then my toddler woke up and my toddler's like, where is dad? And so my toddler left with my husband to go get a little more sleep. And then I was with her. Then 30 minutes later we nursed, and then she fell asleep for a little longer. And then my toddler came back in the bed at 6:30 and then everybody was up. And I was just like, this is not the way either. So I have been slowly trying to wean my second. So before we get into the nitty-gritty details of this, because I still can't believe how different it is for my first, and I'm doing this from the wounds instead of the scar, just to be like, what is happening? Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to talk about HEYSHAYLA. This is a multivitamin for 2+. It's one of the best kids multivitamins, and I was like, do kids need multivitamins? But then as soon as you start trying to feed your kids and they're like, I want chips, I want bread, I want or when they're just picky. Someone told me to focus on nutrition in a week instead of a day. That helped to relieve a lot of stress, but this also helps to relieve a lot of the stress, because I'm like, okay, well, at least you're getting some vitamins in addition to those chips. There is 0 sugar in this, which I feel like is the major highlight of HEYSHAYLA. I have done a lot of collaborations with them because I love them. My kids love taking them. They're not gummies, they're these tablets. There's 12 fruits and veggies. Every time I talk about them and I say that we haven't been sick yet, I search for some wood because I also love them because when you order your first order, which if you use hiyahealth.com/HEYSHAYLA, you'll get 50% off your first order, but it comes with this refillable container, and then you get eco-friendly refillables every month to fill this up. Okay, so with my second, basically I was like, we're just gonna cut all nursing except for nursing for nap and nursing to bed and nursing in the morning. Those are the 3 nursing sessions, and that's pretty sure what I did with Aaliyah. So we're on day 6 of no nursing for the nap. She's just refusing to nap, and she's not even crying to nurse. She's crying for her sister. So we'll be like, okay sis, here's your snacks, I've got the toilet set up if you have to go to the bathroom, here's your show, I'm gonna try and put this baby down, I'll be back. And so we go into the bedroom, and as soon as I shut the door, she's like, Iya, sissy, and she's just like hitting the door, not laying down with me. If I try to like rock her and comfort her, she's screaming. And this child is like low key, like she is chill, rarely cries, and this is like explosive, like she's angry. I've gotten her to fall asleep like in a rocking chair occasionally, but like no, she has major FOMO to be out with her sister. So I contacted the sleep consultant that I've worked with before, and I was like, you got any quick tips for me here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? She's like, well, it's too early. She's only like a year and a half. She can't drop her naps yet because she's not getting the sleep she needs at night either, because she's supposed to be getting like between 12 and 14 hours. And I was like, yeah, she's at about like 11 right now. And she's like, yeah, no, you gotta try and keep that nap in there. So she's like, is this what you did with Aaliyah? And I was like, I don't know, let me go watch my weaning video with Aaliyah. So I watched that. So what I did with Aaliyah, like I said, it took like 4 or 5 months. We did the same thing. We got all the nursing out like just casually during the day, and we only nursed to sleep for naps, bedtime, and at the morning time. However, what I did with her was she would nurse for like, I don't know, for 15, 20 minutes, and then I would say, okay, all done. And I would like cover up, and then I would need to like comfort her to sleep. Then Seth took over some naps, which Seth, I don't know if this is like common. With my first baby, I was like, we are 50-50. We are doing things 50-50. You can put the baby to sleep. I'm not doing it every time. Like I was very adamant that like things were 50-50. With my second 50-50 meant you get the toddler, I get the baby. So that means I've put this baby to sleep for a year and a half for naps, for nighttime. Like he's maybe done it a handful of times, and that's mostly because I'm like, no, why would I put you and her through that when I can just nurse her to sleep and she goes to sleep really easy? So it's not like he's refused. He's been very adamant to be helpful. I'm like the only one that could put her to sleep. But with my first, he took over naps because I was like, you try and get her to sleep, like break that association with nursing. He was successful and he could get her to sleep. His schedule changed, and then I had to be back on naps. So then I was nursing her and stopping, and then I was like, wait, if she can nurse to sleep, like not nurse to sleep with you, she should be able to do it with me. So then I started doing that. That worked. So we cut the nap time. With my second, she's not having this. So today I'm gonna try nursing her for like 15 minutes and then stopping and then trying to comfort her to sleep. I did it last night. Now I'm just gonna do that when we nurse for all 3 sessions. Like we're gonna nurse a little bit, you're gonna get like whatever, your nutrients and your comfort, and then I'm going to try and comfort you to sleep a different way so that you learn how to fall asleep without nursing. It took her a little bit of tossing and turning last night, but she did it. I'm just like, how can this be so different? And I was talking to a friend and they're like, this might just be something that like her whole life, like in 10 years you might be like, you've always been one that doesn't like change. Like she is protesting this so hard, but it's more complicated now because I have another baby, a toddler, in the bed, because we co-sleep with all 3 of us, that I'm afraid is gonna wake her up. In the middle of the night, my second can be like screaming, and my first is just dead asleep. But in like the morning time, it wakes her up. So the new plan, nurse for a little while, stop, and give her a warning, like, okay, because they're like back and forth, right? They're like on this side, then they go to this side, then they're on this side, then they go to this side, and you're like, oh my gosh, why are you keep going back and forth? And you know that there's not much left in there. Like since weaning, I got these like flapjacks on my chest now because the milk is like going away. And I remember Aaliyah dry nursing, like I was making nothing. But I did learn that you need 1 ounce to get all of the like nutritional benefits. So you don't need a lot for them to get what they like need nutritionally, like health wise. So we might be dry nursing, I don't know. But I'm sharing this because I loathe that some mom watched my video with my first and had my second baby and was like, why is this baby not doing what the yours did on the video and 3 days stopped nursing? Why is mine protesting and not taking naps and whatever? So I'm sorry if you were that mom watching that video before. Just wanted to make this one for some solidarity to say babies are different, which is shocking. It's still shocking to me when people told me like, oh, their personalities are gonna be so different. And I was like, like, I definitely don't parent them the same, but they can't be that different. Night and day. Like, my first is a performer, my second is an observer. They get along really well, but like, they're just so different. And I still think it's wild that they can come out with their own personality and they get their own, I mean, it makes sense, but it still just like blows my mind. So I will do another video from the scars and not from the wounds. How about that? But I'm also thinking we're just starting like the weaning now at 18 months versus 14 months. So I'm giving myself like 4 months to kind of like figure this out, because she doesn't nurse during the day anymore. She's like accepted that. I'm a little nervous about going from not nursing at all during naps to like doing this little time thing, because then she's like, wait, so we are gonna nurse? Like, I just don't like switching it up. But I also know that they need to keep their sleep because there's been lots of illness at preschool and daycare, and I don't want them to have illness on top of no sleep. So That's it. That's all I have to say about this. But I was just laying in bed last night and I was like, I need to talk about this because I led lots of moms astray who had a hard time weaning. And I never do this. I don't like asking for advice on the platform because it's information overload. But I'm asking, when you weaned your child, how old were they? Because I feel like that makes a big difference. Was there anything that really, really worked? And what was your like strategy? I need to know. I have a strategy and I'm gonna stick with it, but I would like to hear from some of you. I hope that this was like entertaining a little bit. I hope that there was some solidarity out there. Also, look at how exciting this is. Can you see all this junk back here? These are the boxes for the thought prompts. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna open this one up so you can see it. Oh, wow. Look at that beauty. She folds up like this. Thought prompts to help you get off your phone when you're nursing your baby, when you're pumping, when you're trying to go to bed at night. There's 200 thought prompts here that keep your head in a positive space. So instead of scrolling on your phone, you can think, who can I rely on for support? What makes me feel most calm and helps manage my stress? What is something I cannot wait to teach or do with my children? What is something my partner is great at? This was a labor of love and I'm so excited about it. You can order yours if you're interested in it. HEYSHAYLA.com/shop. Okay, for reals now. I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Bye.